Like, I googled it and it's like nobody knows why the daddy was added. Yeah.
T.
Daddy.
Daddy. Oh God.
3, 2, 1, action.
Sorry. So my name is Hadia. I'm originally Syrian. I'm from Syria. Why did I choose London? That's a good question. Mainly because I had a scholarship to come and study here.
Yeah.
So that was the big one. So I used to live in New York, in upstate, but I used to go to the city a lot. So I really like the vibe of very sort of like intense urban spaces.
London is that.
Exactly. And I was kind of done with New York as like part of my journey. And London was really exciting. And here I am. She did it.
Is that why you have a bit of an American twang to your accent? Because you lived in New York?
Yeah, so I lived in the US for like 7 years.
Okay.
I moved there when I was 17. But even before that, I used to have more of an American twang because I used to watch a lot of American TV shows. That was the easy way to like learn the language.
Yeah.
So I've always had sort of the accent, but obviously being in the US, it became a bit more
apparent.
Yes.
I say in my very British accent.
Apparent.
It became more inevitable. Yes.
Well, I haven't picked up any British accents. It still sounds like something very stereotypical. Like whenever I try to do it, it sounds like something from Charles Dickens, and I'm like, that's not.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. It's like, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I don't know, mate.
Sounds a bit like, I don't know, the hobbits in Lord of the Rings, some sort of like whimsical English.
Just not really here nor there.
Was it London that you moved to?
Yeah.
And when did you move there? Or here, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to be like...
We are here.
So I moved in 2021. I did my master's in journalism at Goldsmiths. I haven't lived anywhere else in the UK. I'm a London girly now.
So you get your perception of what Brits are, I suppose, from London and I guess Londoners. Unless you've met other Brits outside of Londoners.
Through our work, there's a lot of people who come kind of in and out, who don't really live in London. I really like going to like different parts of the country. So I've been to Wales, been to Cornwall.
Nice.
And that kind of also have shaped my kind of perception. And I find it to be very, very different from London, which is nice. It's nice to be able to see Brits, people from the UK, in different spaces and what that looks like.
Flee from the intense space sometimes to get to Cornwall, which is the complete opposite of London.
I loved Cornwall. I thought it was so gorgeous. I also loved Wales. I wouldn't want to live there though.
Where did you go in Wales?
We went to Snowdonia National Park, so North Wales.
Okay, so not the sing-songy accent Wales, the sort of more Mancunian, I don't know if I'll get butchered for saying that, but sort of a northern...
Are you going to get cancelled for this?
Am I going to get killed? I thought you were going to say. They will hunt me down and they will find me.
Well, actually, but I remember people speaking a lot of Welsh, which I thought was so interesting and cool. Before moving to the UK, I didn't know that Welsh was like a language or even like a place, so that's on me, but...
I didn't know Welsh had a language or that it existed, so...
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think I found out through The Crown.
That is where you can get a lot of, I guess, British culture.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a massive show, right?
Was there anything when you moved to London that confused you about London life or British life?
That's a really good question. She's like, I'm prepared. Sort of like strange or surprising?
Strange, surprising, weird, confusing. Any of the above.
London as a city. It's like I was very into the energy. I already sort of knew about New York's energy, and they're not similar, but like it's a similar pace. I was a bit sort of shocked because I came from the US where people are very overly friendly.
Yeah.
Like super friendly, like almost to like an annoying level. Maybe not annoying, but a lot. It's a lot. And I guess the contrast with coming to London specifically, where people are like, they're not friendly, but have boundaries and they're very polite. Part of the transition was realizing that when somebody like gives you the shortest answer, that they're not like mean or anything. This is part of the London energy or maybe even the Brit energy, I don't know. So
yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the Brit energy. It's definitely a London thing.
Yeah.
Where are you from in Syria?
Damascus.
Yeah, I thought so, because that is also the big city, I suppose.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
How does it compare to London?
That's a good question as well. Look at you. They're both very, like, busy cities. They have really interesting history, right? They have their own kind of character. Damascus is very chaotic in many ways, and it's in its dark sort of era, unfortunately, but growing up there, there's a lot of, like, community spaces. I just remember growing up around a lot of people, like neighbors, relatives, sort of like very people oriented, I would say, which I don't necessarily think London is very that.
Then I think about the fact that when we grew up, there was less social media and things, so maybe just everywhere was a bit more people oriented.
That's a good point.
I just thought of that.
People are definitely like addicted to social media now. My younger brother, like now it's a bit different because he's in uni and stuff, but before it's like he was very glued to the screen.
Neck down. It looks painful. I probably do it, but you see other people doing it, like you just want to go, stop.
Yeah, it looks so weird to be like, hey, it feels like you're an influencer, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
everyone's an influencer these days.
Maybe we're influencers, possibly.
Potentially, yes.
Potentially, yes.
With Syria being in the Middle Eastern food, I know you can get it in London.
Yes.
I don't know if you can get it well, necessarily, but was there any food that confused you in the UK? Because we were talking about jelly deals the other day.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't even think you want to know. It's basically this...
I sort of want to know.
It's basically... I don't even know where you'd get it now.
Okay.
It originated in East London.
Okay.
It's eels that are in jelly. Yeah. So I guess they were jellified because in the old days they were trying to keep it preserved and they would eat eel. And apparently you can still get it.
What?
I don't know if I'd ever taste it, but yeah.
What? Okay, well, I didn't know about that. So I'm shook.
Are you into Marmite? Do you like a Marmite sandwich?
I thought that was more Australian.
That's Vegemite. Oh. Yeah. I might have to cut that out in case,
I know,
Brits see this and go,
sorry. I don't want to get cancelled. Sorry. Love you guys. I feel like I kind of embraced everything when I moved here. My experience of being in a place is just embracing all of it and being like, this is great. When I first tried pub food, I was like, gives you a food coma, but I'm into this. I think the only thing is like Christmas pudding.
that you think is a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
I agree.
You agree?
It tastes a bit like pancakey, light. There's not really much taste to it. I know you're supposed to like put gravy in it and soak it up, and maybe you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Help.
Help. You need me. You're supposed to put the gravy from your Sunday roast in the
Christmas pudding.
Yeah. Wait a second.
Wait, what?
No, that's so wrong.
Oh, you think about Yorkshire pudding?
I was talking about Yorkshire pudding.
No way.
Nope. Anyway, Christmas pudding. Yeah,
Christmas
that is fucking weird, yes.
Yeah.
And also
bizarre.
brandy, like.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you eat it in Christmas?
I actually don't mind it. My birthday's on Christmas Day, so I kind of feel like I have
Wait, what?
Yes.
Someone stole your thunder?
Jesus. Yes, he did. But
He did?
It's okay, he died for our sins, so... and with that, he left Christmas pudding and a bunch of other things, like Christmas crackers. It just tends to be my birthday, so...
No. You're like, so it's actually about me.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is in my house.
Oh, cute.
Thank you.
Cute.
So Christmas pudding, I imagine, doesn't exist in Syria.
No,
Or New York.
I don't think it exists outside of the UK, does it?
I don't know why this obsession with brandied
This
things.
is my thing. Well, when I tried it the first time, I was expecting to like it because I actually find this shape to be quite fun. I'm like, well, how whimsical. And then I hated it. I was like, I don't know what I'm tasting here. But why is it only served in Christmas? What about it makes it Christmassy? I just had many questions.
I think it's the brandy, but I don't know why having brandy is Christmassy. That taste reminds me of Christmas. Having like mince pies, there's brandy in that as well.
Mince pies are also very strange to me.
Yeah, it's the same sort of taste that can put people off. I love them both.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I like other things. Chips, love it.
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Ah, you
Like
were kind of being very purposeful when you said chips
Yes,
and not...
girl, I've learned. And like some pies are great. Don't mind a roast. It's not like something I usually gravitate towards, but whenever I've had it, I've had a good time. People hate on British food a lot, but I'm like, I've had a good time.
Good. Mushy peas? No?
That's gonna be a no.
I thought I'll just shoehorn that in case you are 100% sure you are into British food.
That's gonna be a no, girl.
Pros and cons of living in London. Go.
So pros, it's probably one of the most cosmopolitan places in the world. You kind of never can get tired of it because I'm a city girl. I'm just like, I love it. There's so much going on. There is a lot of art. There's a lot of different communities, right? When I was in New York and when I was in upstate, I felt very isolated from Arab communities because there weren't there.
Oh, there's not any Arab communities in New York.
Well, not in upstate, but in
Oh, right, yes.
the city, yes. But as a student, I wasn't really in the city a lot. So,
Yeah.
and even then, it's like so far that these communities sort of become their own thing, right?
Yeah.
And so the food isn't as good, and yeah. So I think when I moved to London, I was like surprised with how good the food is. Okay, it's not as good as home, but it's pretty solid.
They're trying.
They're trying, so they're like very involved artistically. It's just a very sort of vibrant community. And so I really love that about London. Like I was just part of the Arab Cultural Festival
Nice.
like in the last like 2 weeks and met a lot of cool people, getting to know the community and helping out in like different ways.
I like that about London. Like, I grew up in an area where there was a big Indian community.
Oh.
And you always saw, even though London is a pretty liberal place, you get a lot of countries and well, cities and different areas of the world that are quite secular, and they don't allow or care for culture to show itself in
Like
public
cultural
spaces.
exchange, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got like places like France where like a lot of schools are secular and things like that. I feel like it's a shame, this is actually a political hot take, but then you don't see people showing off how they want to express themselves, whether it's through religion or whether it's through anything else.
Totally.
So growing up around Indian communities and their saris and around that food as well was so lovely. Coming here and learning about the fact that there are some places that don't allow hijabs at school and things like that. Whereas here you can do that because it's part of who you are.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about London, I reckon.
Yes, I agree. And I feel like all these communities, they bring a lot to the city, and the city sort of wouldn't be the same without them. And like there's just so much to do in the summer and the spring. You don't really have to try to find so many things to do, and even if you have very niche interests, you'll find them in London. You can just do whatever you want, and that's sort of liberating.
Money no object, but you were like, I want to do something. What would you do in London?
If it's the summer, then I want to go to the park.
Oh, that's pretty free. Okay.
Yeah, that's very
That's
free.
easy.
Yeah, I'm very easy to please. I do love going to concerts. Like if I had a budget that was bigger than my budget currently, that's probably where all my money would go, and it's already going there. But even more, like just go see different artists. So that's kind of my thing, and also food. We love food. Food is expensive in London.
Yeah. Particularly things that you would get locally where you're from are just extortionate compared
Yeah.
in London.
Why are you charging me £12 for like falafel? That's just unacceptable.
Because they can.
I know.
It's so sad.
So I
love a
think,
chickpea.
well, I guess that brings me to cons, which is it's quite expensive. Because I've been here for how many years now? 4 years. I've sort of gotten used to it, which I feel like is even worse. When I leave London and I get charged like £2 for a coffee, I'm like, that's really cheap. And it's like, well, is it? Or is London just really expensive?
Yeah, like £4.50 for a mocha. And
Yeah,
like
for like a latte.
Yeah, charging extra for the milk as well if you don't want the dairy, and it's just it all adds up.
And then if you want to sit in, that's an extra fee that they hide. London in the winter, not the whole winter, but like specifically January, February, and some parts of December are quite like melancholic, if you will. Yeah.
Oh, I will, because I definitely agree. Was that not similar to New York though, or is it different?
So it's really different because New York is a lot colder. Like it's much colder, but it gets a lot more sun. And so I think the serotonin is a little bit better because it's not so like gloomy.
It's funny because I don't remember feeling that growing up, like the melancholy. However, when I became an adult, living in flat, doing adult things, paying bills, it really hit. And this idea of seasonal affective disorder hit.
Yeah.
And buying a sad lamp and things like that.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, that never really
Wow.
was a thing. Or like, I don't know if it's because your hormone levels are different growing up and therefore you just create maybe serotonin. I don't know anything about the science of it. But yeah, it only really became apparent when I first moved out. So I guess it would have been 2021 around. 2020. Just feeling very miserable in the winter days and then not really knowing why until...
Exactly. I think that's the seasonal depression aspect of it. Is like, and all of a sudden when spring hits, like mid or late March, and you see the flowers and all of a sudden you're like, life is beautiful.
Do you reckon then that if there was sun all the year round, it'd be a lot more pleasant, or Londoners would be a lot more pleasant? They'd be a lot less short, there'd be a lot less of a feeling of dismay and demoralisation. That's it.
Ooh, Okay.
Demoralization.
Okay, girl. Probably, but I feel like that's any place on the earth, right? Like every place has.
That's everywhere in the world.
That's everywhere. Like everywhere, winter is depressing. But at the same time, like, can you imagine London without sort of its kind of gloomy era?
That's the thing.
It's
Like
part of the city.
I feel like people appreciate the day. Well, they definitely do appreciate the sunny days more, having lived through
Having lived through.
the pain of
Yeah.
of winter. It's like a metaphor for life, isn't it? Like you can't have the good without the bad.
Exactly. Do you read Mary Oliver?
No.
She's an American poet and she writes a lot about nature. So I read her a lot during, not this last winter, but the one before. And it really comforted me. She's like, oh, you know, you can't, I'm paraphrasing here because she is much better with words than I am. But like you can't have beautiful summer nights if you don't have quiet winter nights. And everything sort of needs to be in a balance. And I mean, it'd probably be nice to live in a sunny place all the time. But I don't know if then you would appreciate it, like you said.
I know people who've moved here from sunny areas where in the winter it's 22 degrees, in the summer it's ridiculously hot, like 40. But someone said to me, like, I never woke up one day and went, oh, it's sunny. Whereas like in the UK, it's like it's frequently a subject that you talk about because it's so infrequent.
Yeah.
Poetic.
There you go.
Dark and gloomy.
Like in February, it was like we barely got any sun. I think that we had like 3 days of sun.
Say it.
I don't know if this is true. Just so you know. Don't fact check me. Of course that's gonna give you a low mental health because your brain sort of needs that. We can always appreciate the cozy days, and I think I do in November because it's like they're so new. But then by February I'm like, let's just wrap it up.
Yeah, it drags on, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It overstays its welcome.
Exactly. I think if it was for me, winter would just probably be like November, December.
And then once Christmas is over, it's like,
Yeah,
we
I'm like,
need sun.
We need sun.
I've got my vitamin D spray. I sprayed my inside of my cheeks earlier today.
Did you?
Got to get that vitamin D somehow.
Oh, I've been trying to take more vitamin D because apparently it also helps with your mental health.
Yeah, vitamin D3 with K2, according to my uncle who's a doctor,
Okay.
says that K2 helps you absorb the D3.
So you need both?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. Wait, so you don't put it on your skin then?
Inside my cheek.
Oh, inside your cheek.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not setting spray
like-
my face with
I was
vitamin
like,
D.
wow.
That'd be
Isn't
cool
that-
though if you had a vitamin D setting spray.
I was like, that and then you put on sunscreen. You're ready to go.
Do you have any advice for newcomers who are thinking of moving to London or an intense big city?
Probably like be patient with yourself. The first year I definitely like was struggling because I felt like so out of place. Like I had like my close friends, but it was sort of like, oh, everybody has their friends already, and it feels like almost impossible to be able to like make so many friends, but it's just sort of happened naturally after that year. It's like all of a sudden I have people from like different parts of my life and I feel very like well adjusted. Be patient because it does take time to sort of like get to know the city and get to know people, and then all of a sudden it just like becomes a lot of people. So
That's lovely.
thank you.
And finally,
Yeah.
so I know a few people who are not from here that moved to London who I'll be saying some certain words and they'll be like, what? I've never heard this word before in my life. So I'm going to say a few words and
Okay.
I want to know whether you know what they
Oh
are.
my god, this is fun. Okay.
Okay. Bric-a-brac.
Okay, I'm already feeling.
Even my friend who I grew up with in London was like, I don't know what that. What the fuck is that?
Okay, what
it's
is it?
like if you go into a shop and there's just like stuff everywhere. Like you know those shops.
Okay,
like
yeah.
Flying Tiger's a bit of a
Yeah,
bric-a-brac
yeah.
shop.
Okay.
Tat is what people call it as well, but I don't know if that's also a word that you don't know.
No.
Yeah, bric-a-brac.
Bric-a-brac.
Do you know what a daddy longlegs is?
Isn't that the spider?
Yeah, but nobody knows why it's called a daddy longlegs, and
Yeah,
I find
why?
that so. Like I googled it, and it's like nobody knows why the daddy was added. Yeah,
T.
daddy.
Daddy. Oh god.
This has been Sam and
Hadia
who,
is a city girl through and through.
as a result of living in 3 cities, or is it just living in London, or yeah?
That's nature and nurture, whatever. You know, like it's both. You can't really tell.
It's destiny.
It's destiny.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, a comment. If you like London too, give it a like and a comment. And hopefully see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. The diaspora. There's like this fly that keeps distracting me.
I know, she's always around.
She's always around.
Doris.
Oh, cute.